What if the man who sentenced Jesus to death met a demise so tragic and mysterious that it still sparks debates today? Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor who presided over the trial of Jesus and ordered his crucifixion, is one of the most infamous figures in biblical history. But what became of him after that fateful day? Today we uncover the shocking and tragic end of Pontius Pilate, examining historical accounts, legends, and the profound lessons his story holds for us today. Stay with us to the end to discover how Pilate's decisions sealed not only Jesus' fate but his own, and how his story serves as a timeless warning about the consequences of moral compromise and fear. Why did Pilate, a powerful Roman official, give in to the demands of the crowd? Pontius Pilate was the Roman prefect of Judea from AD 26 to 36, tasked with maintaining order and collecting taxes. His encounter with Jesus is one of the most pivotal moments in history. Pilate's interrogation of Jesus left him conflicted. He found no fault in him and even sought to release him. Yet the Jewish leaders and the crowd demanded crucifixion, accusing Jesus of claiming to be the king of the Jews, a direct threat to Roman authority. Fearing unrest and a potential backlash from Rome, Pilate infamously washed his hands before the crowd, declaring, "I am innocent of this man's blood." Despite this symbolic gesture, he ordered Jesus' crucifixion. Pilate's attempt to absolve himself of guilt failed. Both history and faith remember him as the man who condemned the Son of God. This moment wasn't just about a single decision. Pilate's choice revealed the complexity of balancing personal conviction with political survival. As prefect, Pilate was acutely aware of his precarious position. Judea was a volatile province, and maintaining peace often required difficult compromises. Yet this act of surrendering justice to appease the crowd remains one of history's greatest moral failings. Could Pilate's decision to crucify Jesus have been the tipping point in his career? Even before the trial of Jesus, Pilate's governance was marked by controversy and tension. Historical records, such as those by the Jewish historian Josephus, portray him as a harsh ruler who often clashed with the Jewish people. He provoked outrage by introducing Roman standards bearing Caesar's image into Jerusalem and using temple funds to build an aqueduct. These actions fueled resentment among the Jewish population and complaints to Emperor Tiberius. Pilate's decision to crucify Jesus may have been an attempt to appease the Jewish leaders and avoid further unrest, but it only highlighted his inability to balance justice with political expediency. His fear of losing his position in favor with Rome ultimately drove him to sacrifice an innocent man. Pilate's political troubles deepened after this, as he became increasingly viewed as a liability by both the Jewish leaders and the Roman authorities. Did Pilate's actions during Jesus' trial set the stage for his own downfall? Pilate's troubles didn't end with Jesus' crucifixion. Around AD 36, he faced a violent uprising in Samaria. Pilate's brutal suppression of this rebellion, including the execution of many Samaritans, led to formal complaints being sent to Rome. Emperor Tiberius recalled Pilate to answer for his actions, effectively ending his political career. Some accounts suggest that Pilate was exiled, while others indicate he faced trial for his misdeeds. Stripped of power and disgraced, the once powerful governor became a cautionary tale of how fear and moral compromise can lead to ruin. The man who sought to wash his hands of responsibility could not escape the consequences of his actions. The loss of favor with Rome was not uncommon for provincial governors, especially in volatile regions like Judea. However, Pilate's case stands out because of the moral and spiritual implications of his actions. His downfall serves as a reminder that political power is fleeting, and decisions made under duress often carry long-lasting consequences. Was Pilate haunted by guilt, or was his demise a result of political intrigue? The circumstances surrounding Pilate's death remain shrouded in mystery, with various accounts offering conflicting details. Early Christian traditions suggest that Pilate's remorse over sentencing Jesus to death consumed him. According to Eusebius of Caesarea, a 4th century historian, Pilate committed suicide during the reign of Emperor Caligula. This act of despair is often interpreted as a sign of guilt and inner torment. Other legends propose that Pilate's body was cursed and rejected wherever it was buried. One story claims his remains were thrown into the Tiber River, while another suggests they were cast into a remote alpine lake. These tales reflect the enduring infamy of Pilate's role in Jesus' crucifixion and the belief that divine judgment followed him to the grave. Adding to the intrigue are theories that Pilate may have faced political retribution rather than personal guilt. Some historians speculate that Pilate's association with unpopular policies and his eventual recall to Rome may have made him a scapegoat for broader dissatisfaction with Roman rule. His death, whether by his own hand or through external forces, marked a tragic end for a man whose name is forever tied to one of history's most significant events. How is Pilate remembered today, and what can we learn from his story? Pontius Pilate's name is recited in the Apostles' Creed. Suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. This acknowledgement underscores his pivotal role in the greatest story ever told. Yet Pilate's legacy is one of moral failure. His inability to stand for justice, despite recognizing Jesus' innocence, serves as a stark warning about the dangers of fear and compromise. In art and literature, Pilate is often portrayed as a conflicted figure, a man torn between his conscience and his desire to maintain power. Some view him as a tragic character, while others see him as a symbol of cowardice. Regardless of interpretation, Pilate's story invites reflection on the choices we make and the consequences they carry. For the Church, Pilate's role in Jesus' crucifixion emphasizes the fulfillment of prophecy. Despite Pilate's failure, God's plan for salvation was accomplished through Jesus' sacrifice. This duality of human failure and divine sovereignty adds depth to Pilate's legacy, reminding us of the complexity of history and the enduring impact of individual decisions. What does Pilate's story teach us about integrity and accountability? Pilate's life is a cautionary tale about the cost of moral compromise. Despite his authority, he lacked the courage to stand for what was right. His decision to prioritize political expediency over justice led to both Jesus' crucifixion and his own downfall. Pilate's symbolic act of washing his hands could not cleanse him of responsibility, just as avoiding accountability does not absolve us of our actions. For Christians, Pilate's story also highlights the sovereignty of God. Even in the face of human failure and injustice, God's plan for salvation through Jesus' death and resurrection was fulfilled. Pilate's actions, while unjust, ultimately served a greater purpose, reminding us that God's will prevails even through the flaws of humanity. Additionally, Pilate's story serves as a mirror for our own struggles with integrity and courage. How often do we, like Pilate, allow fear or convenience to dictate our choices? His life challenges us to consider the long-term impact of our decisions and the legacy we leave behind. The tragic death of Pontius Pilate is a powerful reminder of the consequences of fear, compromise, and moral failure. His story challenges us to stand for truth and justice, even when it comes at a personal cost. Pilate's attempt to absolve himself of responsibility serves as a timeless lesson about the importance of integrity and accountability. As we reflect on his life, let us strive to make choices that honor God and uphold righteousness. And that's the tragic tale of Pontius Pilate. What decisions are you making today that will echo into eternity?